Welcome to Perficient's Oracle BI Cloud Service Sales Analytics demo. My name is Mazin Manassa, and I'm a Senior Solution Architect at Perficient. This is going to be a walkthrough of sample sales analytics dashboards focused around the needs of the sales line of business. The solution you'll see here is built on Oracle's BI Cloud platform, leveraging Perficient's several years of expertise in the sales BI space. In this demo, I'll be going through three main scenarios. The first I will show you is focused on a sales rep as an individual, how they can make use of Oracle's BI Cloud Sales Analytics and get a good understanding of his or her opportunities. So by looking at a dashboard like the one I'm going to show you, you'll know where you need to spend your time the most and maintain a healthy pipeline. Second, I will demo how a VP of sales or a sales manager can get a quick overall view of how the organization is performing over time and analyze the performance of their sales team and also the different territories that they're responsible for. And the third scenario I will demo here is targeted for sales managers who want to gain business insight into their sales data. I will show you how quick and easy it is to get answers leveraging Business Intelligence's cloud service data visualization component. So I'll switch over and get into the demo now. I'm going to log into the system, and as you can see, it's very easy to use like any other website like Facebook or LinkedIn. You put in your credentials and you log in. I'm going through my first scenario now as a sales rep, so I'll navigate to my dashboard, which is for my pipeline. And now I'm assuming I'm logging in as Ambers, so I'm only going to see my opportunities on the dashboard. So the first one I'm going to look at here is the funnel view on the upper left side. And this funnel view is a very typical way of looking at the sales pipeline. By looking at it, I can easily tell in which stage my opportunities are. For example, if I have a lot of them stuck in the early stages, I know I need to be more active moving them forward to the next stages. And I want to know, how am I doing with respect to my targets? Am I on track or am I behind? So once I get to this view, I can easily tell that I'm in green here in stages 4 and 5 of my pipeline. That means I'm doing very good over there. I've met my targets. But I notice I'm in red for the earlier stages, like stage 1 and 2. For example, I'm at 48% of my target for the early stage 1 of the pipeline. So now I know I need to spend more time trying to get more opportunities into the pipeline as opposed to working on existing opportunities that have already achieved my goal. Now that I've looked at my pipeline as a whole, I want to get more specific to the opportunities that are targeted to close in the coming months. So I look at this trend graph here to the right, and this is now showing me my pipeline based on the target close date. And I'm assuming November here is the next month. And the different colors are representing the different stages in my pipeline. I can quickly see that there's a big chunk of it in blue, and blue represents stage 1. So that doesn't sound good because these opportunities are closing next month, but there's a big part of them that is still in stage 1. So I want to know what's going on with my opportunities here. All I have to do is click on that blue bucket, and I get to the details behind those opportunities. I can look at all the different customers I'm working on them, and the days since last activity is going to show me how old these are. I quickly noticed that a lot of these I haven't acted upon for 40, 50, or even 60 days ago. So I now need to focus more on these. I know where to spend more effort based on the expected revenue from each customer, and make a better way of managing my stage 1 of the pipeline. So now that we've seen how an individual sales rep can use this, I will move on now to the second scenario and talk about how a VP of sales or a sales manager can benefit from a dashboard like this. So I'm now a VP of sales, and I want to see how healthy my pipeline is for the whole organization that I manage. I want to know if our financial numbers are aligned with the pipeline. For example, is my organization's forecast of how much revenue we plan to do in the coming month, is it in line with the current pipeline? What is my confidence level with the status of the pipeline? And also, I would like to know how our actual revenue from financials compares against the forecast. So I've got a lot of questions in my mind, and all I have to do is come down to the forecast versus pipeline graph. And this is a visual that a lot of our customers ask for to be included on their executive dashboards. So there's different things that I'm looking at here. The dark bars are showing me the later stages of the pipeline, so stages 5 through 7 here. And my next month here is month 10, so I can see that most of the opportunity revenue is in dark green. That means it's in an advanced stage of the pipeline. That's usually a good level of confidence to report on. But the month after that, most of the pipeline revenue is in lighter green. That means it's an early stage opportunity revenue. And so I have to be careful in how I report my sales expectations for the month after that. Also, I'm looking at here the yellowish line, which is the forecast. Want to make sure that my forecast is always trending below the pipeline, and take into consideration that the pipeline is mostly in light green, which is the early stage for those months. In addition to the pipeline and the forecast, I'm also looking at actual revenue collected, and this is represented by the red line. I can quickly see how actuals compare to forecast, and I can use that trend from the previous month in adjusting my forecast for the following month. So there's a lot of things showing up over here, and all this data usually comes from separate systems. For example, pipeline may be coming in from Salesforce or Oracle Sales Cloud. Forecast may be coming in from Hyperion or Nestbase, and actuals can be coming in from the ERP system. And what's really good about this Oracle BI platform is combining data from all the different sources and presenting it here in an easy-to-interpret manner in a single graph. Now I'm going to move on to the sales effectiveness. So as a sales manager, I would like to know how my sales team is performing. So I'm going to switch over to the sales effectiveness dashboard and get to the sales team effectiveness report. So the first visual here on the left side is showing me the sales rep on my team. I can easily see there's a pack of them here following the same trend in the middle, and there's an outlier down here, Sprague. So I know I would need to follow up with Sprague. Maybe he's not entering the opportunities properly in the system or not maintaining them over time. And I can see also quickly that there's Goodkin up here. The big bubble indicates there's more revenue won in the past, and it's high up on the opportunity revenue scale, the vertical scale. That means there's more opportunity revenue expected in the future. But that's not enough for me. I want to be more confident about the revenue that Goodkin is reporting. All I have to do is click on the bubble here for Goodkin, and I get more details about Goodkin's opportunities here to the side. Now, these bubbles here in the middle of the screen are representing the different customers that Goodkin is working with. And the bigger the bubble, that means there's more revenue expected. And higher up on the opportunity scale, there's more opportunities. The darker the color, the more red they are. That means they've been open for a long time. So I want to be careful if there's a lot of red bubbles showing up here. I want to be careful on how I report that opportunity revenue. I don't see a lot of red for Goodkin, so I'm happy so far. But I want to know more about those opportunities, maybe the bigger customer that Goodkin is working on. I'm going to drill down to the opportunities, and I can now get to a detailed report showing me the individual opportunities for Goodkin. I noticed quickly that most of these are in an advanced stage, so that's good. and I can tell what's the expected revenue from each, and the probability of winning, and the last time that Witkin worked on those opportunities. So drill down capabilities like these have significantly helped our customers to gain confidence in their data. So once they go from a sales rep specific opportunity revenue to the customers and the details behind it, they're able to trust the numbers as they report on them. So now I've analyzed the performance of my sales team, but a sales manager also wants to analyze the performance of the territories that they own. So I would like, as a sales manager, I would like to see which territories are performing well and which are losing. I also want to know why are we losing in those territories. So I'm going to navigate to the territory performance report. And now here on the left side, we're looking at a trend of the revenue won in red against the forecast in blue by territory. So for example, if we take a look at the West product here, we see the red line for the revenue won is trending below the forecast. I want to know why that is happening in that territory. So all I have to do is click on the West territory, and I get here on the right side more details on what's going on. I get a trend of the revenue won and loss in that territory. I can see that there's a lot of opportunities being worked on, but most of them are losing. So the green area represents the lost revenue. The blue area is what's won. And I can quickly see that the win rate is trending downwards. But again, I haven't figured out why that's happening, so I want to get a closer look at what's going on. I now go down to the trend at the bottom. This is now showing me the revenue lost over time, and the blue bars are showing me the sales rep, which is Henderson. But if I had more sales reps in that territory, they would be stacked here, so I can tell who's the most contributor to my losses in that territory. So it doesn't sound like to be an issue with the sales rep. Maybe it's something else. I can now analyze the revenue lost by product and see how that looks. Okay, so now I can tell here that these colors are representing the different products we're selling, and there's a main product here in purple that is dominating the lost revenue bars, and this is the Sentinel laptop. So I now know why we're losing in that state, in that territory, and we can take corrective action to either adjust the selling price of this product or focus our sales effort on other products. Okay, so now I've showed you the first two scenarios we talked about, and these are all based on pre-built content for the sales reps, for the managers and the VPs to look at. But now I'm going to move on to show you something a little different. Now I'm going to talk about how a sales manager can use the data visualization component of BI Cloud to answer business questions without the need to really go to IT or to a business analyst to run some spreadsheets and create a report. So as a sales manager, you can use the data visualization to analyze your opportunities and discover insights into your data by yourself. For example, you want to know who are the customers with the most potential in the pipeline so you can focus your team's effort on them. Or you want to know your sales reps, how they're performing in a certain region. So I'll show you how quickly and easy it is to answer questions like these. So I'm now navigating to the data visualization area. And on the left side, I have a list of the different columns and fields that I can use in my analysis. So for example, I want to know which customers I need to focus my team's effort on. I'm going to analyze my customers now. I'm going to select the customer name and then go to the base folder here to select some of the sales related metrics. So for example, I'm going to look at opportunity revenue as an indication of how much revenue we expect from these customers in the future, and also look at the average probability based on the historical trend of winning deals with those customers. So now I'm going to ask the tool to come back to me with the best way of visualizing this data, and it comes back with what is called a scatter graph. So each one of those points is a customer because that's what I asked my analysis to do for me. And I can keep adding more metrics to the visual so that I can look at it in different perspectives. For example, now the size of the bubble is based on the revenue won in the past, and the higher up they are on the vertical axis, the opportunity revenue, that means there's more opportunity expected. I can quickly see that my best customer is Friendly Insurance, higher up on the vertical scale, and then I have some customers here that are close to each other, so I can focus my effort on those ones, and then the lowest end at the bottom. There are so many different visualizations that we can use in here, whether pie charts, pivot tables, bar charts. The map is always an interesting visual to overlay our data on. For example, I'm going to use the customer location, the state of the customer, to figure out where my opportunities are. And it's very quick to do. All I have to do is click on the customer state, and you would start seeing the map rendering here in front of you. I'm going to look at the probability by state. So now the shades of these states are indicating the probability of winning based on historical opportunities. And then quickly pinpoint that there's 2 dark states here, which are doing really good. And I can add more metrics to my to the same map. For example, now I'm adding the opportunity revenue as bubbles. The bigger these bubbles are, that means there's more opportunity expected. If I want to focus my analysis, for example, on the Western region, because I see some interesting states in there, all I have to do is select the Western states and keep them. And now you notice that not just the map has been restricted to my selection, but also the scatter graph on the left side. This is now showing me that Sierra Foothill is my best customer in the Western region, and I know who are the best group of customers to focus on. One thing I noticed on the map is the state of Wyoming. It's very dark. That means there's a high probability of winning, but the bubble is small. That means we don't have a lot of opportunity revenue being worked on in that state. So I want to know why we're not taking full advantage of that state. All I have to do is drill down on it, and now I get to know who the customers are, and I can keep drilling down to different pieces of information. For example, the sales owner is interesting, so I can know who to follow up with related to the opportunity in that state. So I can see some good achievers. These are my sales rep in that area, that state, and I can know who are the lower achievers, so I can contact these people and see what's going on. So there's a lot of things that you can do with the data visualization component, but I hope I've given you a good idea of how you can use this to get what you need out of your sales data. And finally, if you have questions or you wish to get more information about the solution, you have our contact information here. You can also follow us online.